Hi you guys, I'm super excited about today's topic. It's going to be ISIS and its influence on Pakistan. Before we get into it, I kind of want to talk about who ISIS is, why they're so important, and what that means for Pakistan's future. So going into it, ISIS is arguably the most successful militant group ever, seizing huge chunks of Iraq and Syria, declaring itself a state and governing territory for several years and counting. So they actually started in 2004 and allied with Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda, and then later disowned them in 2014. Off to the right of the screen, you can see over here this black flag, and that is ISIS's flag, and the translation says, "There is no God but Allah. Muhammad is the messenger of Allah." So in June of 2014, they declared the creation of a caliphate, a state ran by an Islamic leader, and changed its name to an Islamic State. Another name for it is also called Daesh. It has a lot of different names. And then what ISIS actually stands for is the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. So one important thing to talk about is what they control, and when they first started compared to what they control now. So as you can see this map to the left, in 2015 the lightly shaded red is what they used to control. And then as of January 8th, 2018, you can see that their land that they've controlled has diminished immensely. As of 2016, they'd actually had lost 12% according to one expert estimate. And then a CBS News correspondent also reported that in January, the terror group was already shifting tactics, launching attacks in regions far from their previous strongholds as they've lost their footing. So with the loss of their land, they're looking for new ways to reach people. And by doing this, they've expanded their territory throughout numerous countries. By expanding it, I think it makes them a lot more dangerous because they reach a lot more people. And you can see that it's actually super heavily populated here in Pakistan. So they used to start in Afghanistan, but they've kind of moved over to their neighbors. So what does that mean for Pakistan? With the push to get ISIS out of Afghanistan, they will have to focus on other countries, what we mentioned before. One way that they've shifted their focus, instead of fighting with guns and weapons, which they still do, but not as much, is through the use of social media. Social media allows them to infiltrate any country and contact anyone. And this isn't very good for Pakistan, especially since they've had problems with the Taliban in the past. It makes for an easy target for them. Another thing that ISIS has been doing is distributing pro-Islamic State pamphlets and propaganda in Pakistan's tribal areas. And these tribal areas are largely ungoverned and have a huge border with Afghanistan, as you can see in this map over here. Along with this distribution of pamphlets, some other things that have been happening is people have been chalking those sidewalks and walls of businesses and homes with ISIS propaganda, and there's also been ISIS bumper stickers pasted on vehicles. One thing that has made ISIS so powerful is the use of this propaganda. They have been able to go into the poorer areas and take the children, saying that they'll take care of the children, and then completely brainwash them. So one story that I actually want to share is how ISIS had infiltrated one woman's life through the use of social media. So I'm going to go ahead and read that for you guys. It says, when Noreen Lakhari disappeared from her hometown of Hyderabad, Pakistan, in February, her parents thought she had been abducted, but then she reached out to them on Facebook. "I've joined Daesh," said the 20-year-old medical student, using the Arabic acronym for the Islamic State. "I'm in Syria for Jihad. Stop searching for me." Lakhari, who had been in contact with the extremists online for a year, was actually in the Pakistan city of Lahore. In April, security forces stormed her hideout there, killing one of her 2 accomplices, whom she had also married, and recovering 2 suicide vests and hand grenades. Lakhari had planned to detonate herself at a crowded church 2 days later on Easter Sunday. So I really think that if Pakistan doesn't unite with each other and put up a front their future seems kind of dim when it comes to ISIS. It seems like ISIS has already infiltrated them a lot. So I think it's important for them not to repeat history, and like they did with the Taliban, they need to learn from that and make sure that they're really trying to fight against ISIS, because they're really no good. And that's pretty much it. These last few slides are my bibliography. And I hope you guys learned a lot, because I definitely did. And I also hope you all have a great day. Thanks so much.